Welcome back to the series. This is where things get interesting. Up until now, your repository has been a private little world living on your laptop. Today we change that. We're pushing your code to GitHub, giving it an address on the internet, and unlocking real collaboration. Same Git you already know, just with one new layer called Origin. So here's the roadmap. 4 skills that take you from solo coder to connected developer. First, you'll wire up your local repo to GitHub with a one-time authentication setup. Then you'll push your commits to the cloud, learn the real difference between pull and fetch, something a lot of developers fudge, and finally, you'll clone any repository on Earth straight to your machine. Master these 4, and the entire open-source world opens up. Before we touch a single command, lock this mental model in. After you connect to GitHub, you don't have one repository, you have 2. A full copy on your laptop, a full copy in the cloud, and 2 simple verbs to keep them in sync. Push sends your commits up, pull brings new ones down. They're independent, which means they can drift apart. And that's exactly why push and pull exist. Here's the whole workflow, start to finish. Create an empty repo on GitHub. Skip the README checkbox, because your local repo already has history, and you don't want a conflict on the very first push. Then link the 2 with git remote add origin, verify it with git remote v, and push with the U flag. That little U sets upstream tracking, so from now on, plain git push just works. 5 commands and you're done forever on this branch. Now about that push, GitHub will ask who you are, and it won't accept your password. You have 2 clean options. SSH key is the senior move. Generate one with SSH keygin, paste the public key into GitHub, switch your remote URLs to the getgithub.com format, and you're done forever. Personal access tokens are the alternative. Quick to create, scopable, revocable, perfect for CI pipelines or one-off scripts. Pick one. Don't mix them. With auth sorted, let's talk about the 3 verbs you'll use every single day. Push sends your local commits up to Origin, that's the upload. Pull pulls remote commits down and merges them into your branch in one shot. Fetch also downloads but stops there. It just refreshes your tracking refs and lets you decide what to merge. Same direction as pull but cautious. That distinction matters more than you'd think. Now, before you can push or pull anything, you need a repo to work with, and that's where clone comes in. One command pulls down the entire project plus its full history, ready to go. SSH is the smooth path once your keys are set. HTTPS works anywhere. And 2 flags worth remembering, --depth1 grabs only the latest commit, huge time saver on massive repos, and -b lets you clone a single branch directly. Day 1 at any new job, you'll run this 5 times before lunch. Once you've cloned, here are 6 moves that level you up fast. Push-u sets the upstream on a new branch, so future pushes need 0 arguments. Force with lease is the grown-up force push. It bails out if someone else pushed first, saving you from wiping their work. Dry run previews what would happen, fetch prune cleans up branches deleted on GitHub, adding an upstream remote is the standard fork workflow, and push origin --delete tidies up shipped branches. Learn these 6, and you sound like a senior. Let's pull it all together with a cheat sheet. 12 patterns that cover almost every remote interaction you'll need. The left column connects and pushes, the middle handles syncing and cloning, and the right column is for cleanup and the safer, faster variants. Screenshot this one. When you're stuck mid-workflow, this grid is the vocabulary that gets you unstuck. Now, the traps. 5 mistakes every junior hits at least once. Initializing a GitHub repo with a README when you already have a local one, push rejected. Sticking with HTTPS and typing your token forever instead of setting up SSH once. Force pushing to a shared branch and breaking everyone's history. Use force with lease instead. Forgetting to pull before you start, then fighting a merge 2 hours in. And the worst one, committing a secret. Rotating the key doesn't erase history. Git ignore your .env before the first commit. always. Enough theory. Time to actually do this. 3 exercises all on real GitHub. First, push your Lesson L1 repo to a fresh public repo called My First Repo. Skip the readme init so nothing conflicts, and use the SSH URL so you're done with tokens forever. Second, clone a project you actually use, poke around the log, feel what real ownership looks like. Third, create a feature branch, push it with you, and watch it appear in the GitHub dropdown. That's your launchpad for pull requests, which is exactly where Lesson 06 picks up. And just like that, your code lives on the internet. You've wired up Origin, mastered push, pull, and fetch, set up SSH once and for all, and you can clone any repo on the planet. But code on GitHub is just the start. Real teams collaborate through pull requests. That's reviews, discussions, the highest value soft skill in tech. See you in Lesson 06.